Welcome to Inside CAI, an in depth, behind the scenes tour of the groundbreaking courses and cutting edge technology at the University of Michigan Center for Academic Innovation. I'm Allie Ray. Today, we're exploring the unexpected lessons that healthcare professionals discover from a virtual ascent of Mount Everest and how a talented team of creators at CAI brought it all to life. Welcome, Tim and Jamila.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So let's start off. Jamila, what is your relationship with learning?
My relationship with learning, I could say I enjoy learning when it's usually mixed with stories because I worked as a journalist for some years and did a lot of research and learning before I'm able to film the stories and bring them to life. So, my relationship with learning, I could say that I enjoy learning mostly when it's infused with storytelling. That way, I could easily visualize what the context of the teaching is.
And same for you, Tim. What is your relationship with learning?
That was a good answer. I'm just gonna steal that. No, and I mean this like wholeheartedly and genuine. I'm not just trying to use it because CAI has it as like one of their core values, but lifelong learning. I feel like I've always been a lifelong learner, but didn't really realize it. I always sort of had an innate curiosity to gain knowledge and try new things and take on different hobbies. And I agree with you, like storytelling, and everybody has a story, and it's fun to just hear what people have to say and hear their life experiences. And yeah, that's how I learn.
I earlier teased that we're going to new heights, and especially with this Mount Everest. Wow, what a huge project that must have been. So, Tim, I want to
Mhm.
ask you for leadership for healthcare professionals, when you were able to teleport students from their Ann Arbor dorm rooms to Mount Everest ascent, what was that like?
Exhausting.
Camera rolling.
I'm speeding.
Thank you, Rob.
Action.
Putting it all together, I mean, we started like 9 months in advance with the faculty to build this simulation, which is navigating team dynamics in extreme environments. So it's how do you deal with team conflict in a stressful situation? And then that relates to people in the healthcare world, whether it's nurses or doctors and things of that nature. It was a lot of work that we put into it. We actually took the course because this was a course that, or a simulation that you take in person, and then we transfer that into the virtual aspect. So it was a lot of like planning out in advance. What's this going to look like? How do we transfer it to the stage? How do we make this relatable to students? How do we make it engaging? How are they learning something, but they're also being teleported, like you said, to that world? So it was a challenge to bring it to life and to make it educational, but also fun. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the experience overall.
And that's when Chamilla comes in.
Mhm.
So, what exactly does extended reality mean? And what does that look like when we say we're virtually ascending Mount Everest?
Yeah, so extended reality is like an umbrella for the term augmented reality, virtual production, virtual reality. So it's a term that encompasses all these formats of virtual productions. But the technique we use for Mountain Everest is virtual production, whereby it's like a combination of using game engine technologies to produce assets an environment to end up creating a 16:9 video. It was a wide process. We started from first understanding the faculty's learning points. You know, what are the important learning factors that need to be factored into this video or into the film or into the experience. So that was one of the reasons why, like Tim mentioned, why we had to experience it first with the faculty so we could have a feel of what it looks like. And then we then started with storyboarding. That way we are able to craft the shots, each angles according to what the stage looked like. Because I think we had over how many actors again?
We had 6 people total. I mean, I was one of them, and I was out pretty early. My guy didn't make it to the end.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert if
yeah.
you're
So
taking it.
yeah, one of the big process there is like how do we coordinate this people on the stage? You know, where do they stand? How do they come in and out? You know, how are the props placed? So we use the storyboard to capture all those information, and then we go into the development of the asset. That's where the rest of the team, like Eric, Ray, Moiso, that's where they come in. They create these assets, these 3D assets in Unreal Engine and other 3D assets applications. And from there, we, brought those environments into the stage. did a series of test shoots to see how they are looking on the shots and how they are looking in camera. And then, so that's like the basic process from ideation, understanding the concept to scripting to storyboarding and to having some series of test shoots before we go into the main shoot. And then also we also have to like include props.
Yeah, the mixing of physical props with our
Yeah, I was
digital
going to ask
props.
about that. Some of them, it looked like they were walking through mountains, but the actors were going through scenes. How did you develop the set to be both extended reality and also kind of that virtual aspect, but augmented? I mean, walk me through this process.
Yeah, so the process we use for this is virtual production. And so the props were actual physical props. We did not use AR props for this production. However, there are some productions where we've used AR props. So we were able to have reference images of what climbing Mount Everest looks like and what the environment looks like. And then we purchased rocks from nearby stores, rocks, snow, artificial snows, and so those are some of the things we purchased to make the props look like it's actually on Everest. We also purchased cotton, white cotton, and a white tarp where we place it on the stage. Let me show you.
Yeah, show us. Which you have these capabilities. So we're
Yeah.
able to see in real time the changes that we can make.
Yeah, so we were able to purchase the cotton and place that on the top. And then we were able to also use artificial snow to mix it on the rocks to give it that, mountain-looking feel. And we also, I think I was also like blowing wind.
Yeah, it wasn't just having the physical props. It's like, how do we utilize it? So as Chamilla was off stage and he's blowing wind on them to give them that feel that they're going up a mountain, or we slanted the cameras a little bit and we just told him, walk like you're like struggling to go up the rope.
Yeah.
So a lot of that was, we're working with faculty members and one student actor, and they all did a great job of, by the end, I was like, wow, they're actually like really good actors. So a lot of coaching on set to get them to work with the props, and we had to like convey our vision because it looks kind of silly when you're out there. You're like physical props and like these fake rocks, but the way we're shooting it, and then when we're finished and we put it all together, and you're like, no, look, this is how we blended it all together, and you guys made it believable through your performance as well.
And then our environment artists were, because if you look at the scene, it's an actual, this is Mount Everest. So he was able to collect some data from our application called Cesium, so that way we were able to get the 3D data of what Mountain Everest looked like. And then the team were able to like further develop on it and add a bit more assets on it to make it look much more realistic. So we were able to use the actual terrain of Mountain Everest to develop this project.
Wow, it just sounds like you guys put a lot of work into this and it really paid off. And with that, now that it is recently launched, students are actually able to enroll and engage with this course. How do you see that courses like extended reality and stages like this can really enhance and elevate future courses that University of Michigan can develop for students?
You want to go? We'll go after the exact same time. It's the immersive element. So we didn't touch on it yet, but one of the characters is actually controlled by you as you're taking this course. And then you have decision points as you go through to, do you keep going on? You might be feeling a little sick, but your goal is to climb Everest, but it could be dangerous. You might lose your life. Do you stay back with someone on your team? Do you go ahead with the person on your team that might seem a little arrogant, but they'll probably get there? So you control this person as you go through and you find these decision points. So it completely immerses yourself in that environment. And I think it's just a different way of learning that isn't just reading or watching a lecture video. You're actually there. You are making this decision. And we try to put you in that world where you feel this high pressure situation. Like we had heartbeats and like breathing to like really accentuate this idea of the stress level that you're going through on the mountains. Yeah, it's right behind you. There's the goggle shot. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to add to what you say, like I mentioned earlier, I like learning when there's storytelling infused into it. It helps me to remember the context of what was taught. So that's what this medium helps us to achieve when collaborating with faculty members, because we could immerse the learners in that environment, in that situation. and it feels more engaging. It's better than just looking at reading text or just looking at images, but you could, imagine the faculty and the instructor in that context of what they are teaching. It's more engaging visually, and also it helps learners to remember sequence of what was being taught. And for example, when you watch the weather news, you could see the weather reporter or the person reporting about the weather. You could see him right in the field, and he's reporting, and he's talking about the wind. You could see him struggling with the wind, and you could see all those drama and all those chaos happening while he's talking about the wind. He doesn't need to be there, but while he's there, it's more engaging for the viewers, because that way they could feel what the wind is like, they could feel what the chaos is like, they could understand what's happening. So that's the same way with using this immersive media production format for courses, because we could help learners visualize that context. We could put them in that situation, and we could take them to places that would have been otherwise difficult to reach. Like we've had projects in the past whereby we were able to visualize historic places. Otherwise it would have been difficult to convey that message through just text and pictures. So it brings visual engagement for the learners, and I feel like that's the future of learning.
Well, this is how I feel. Like I'm right there on Mount Everest. I'm experiencing everything, exhausted, cold, hot. Jamila, Tim, thank you so much. Immerse yourself in the simulation navigating team dynamics in extreme environments, part of the Leadership for Healthcare Professionals open course series at online.umich.edu. I'm Allie Ray, and I'll see you next time on Inside CAI.